Welcome to my original channel on the old YouTube, my smallest channel now. My other channels have thousands of subscribers. This one barely several hundred. So I appreciate you checking out this video. This video is my opinion and my opinion alone. It's essentially a commentary on a lot of videos I've been watching on the old YouTube and comparing it to my historical references to the Asian culture. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of these old guys, essentially my age, middle 70s, moving to Asian countries and surviving on their modest, apparently most of them have very modest, incomes, pensions, Social Security and stuff like that. And they're finding relationships with younger women down there. And I find it interesting as a voyeur, as I'm watching these people. I'm going, man, these people are idiots. Why are they doing this? And I understand exactly why they're doing it, because I'm an adult man. I understand certain men have certain needs and certain desires and motivations, and they're not being satisfied in the old Estats Unidos. And they go to Asia and find a younger woman to meet those needs. Okay. So I'm amused to see their situation and how they, deal with these relationships, and how these Asian women, be they in the Philippines, be they in Vietnam, be they in Thailand and all these other countries, how they deal with Americans there. These Americans are obviously not going to any affluent Asian countries like Singapore and hanging out with those women, because those women say, we don't need any poor, lower socioeconomic, white men, other men coming to our country and trying to find women, because, we're already well off. We do not need your cash. Again, we do not need your cash. But these women in the provinces of the Philippines, and the provinces of Thailand, and the provinces of Vietnam, are more willing to accept an ugly, old male like me. Okay, they're looking for. They say, okay, I can live with them. I can, raise my income, go shopping, help my family, do that. Okay, one of the first things I see all the time in all these videos is, all of a sudden, he's not that old fart American with a wrinkly nose with the pits in it and all kinds of, it looks like he has leprosy of the face. He's out there and he's bedraggled, and he's all of a sudden he's with this younger woman, in her 20s, 30s, stuff like that. And all of a sudden, he's not only dating her, he's dating the whole family. The whole family. Example, guy goes out, invites that Filipino girl that he met for dinner. She goes out, and these are two examples, by the way. Two examples. This one guy goes out and he takes her out to dinner, and she orders not just a little meal. She's a petite gal, looks like about 110, 5'3" or something. 110 pounds, very, petite, small woman. But she orders this gigantic bunch of food. And she goes out with him, hangs out with him, and then she goes home with this, and brings all this food, and she takes it. Obviously, she's taking all this food to take back to the family and giving them some of these. Hey, look I went to this fancy restaurant, got the fancy chicken, and with the fancy, sides, and I'm bringing it home. And I dated this American, this ugly piece of shit American, and now I got all this stuff for you. I didn't kiss him, I didn't hug him, I didn't have sex with him. I just had dinner with him. And look at what I brought. That's one example. Number two example, and these are two very typical examples of people interacting with these women. Again, in the Philippines, this guy goes out with a girl, a woman, a young woman, and all of a sudden he finds, hey, he's rented a car, and he finds out I better rent 2 cars because she's bringing the whole family along. She's bringing her children, her 2 children from a previous relationship that the guy ran off, and brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, everybody in the family, the whole clan is there, and they're all going to the beach, and he's paying for it. He's paying for it. So he's paying for these vehicles, he's paying for their food, he's paying for their entertainment, and that's the first time he's paying for everything. If he goes into a relationship, the idiot, with her, she's going to make him pay for a lot more than that. A lot more than that. So it's pretty funny watching these pathetic, in my opinion, pathetic Americans, you know, on their $800, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 incomes going to Asia and trying to find love, you know, in Asia. Good luck. Good luck. You're not going to find love. You're going to find essentially a person that's going to take advantage of you and take your money and take you for what you're worth. And hopefully you have enough money. If you have this much money to support you, a girlfriend, you better make sure you have at least this kind of money to support the whole family and all the clan and everybody who's going to buy a new house, you know, bigger house, more rent, more food, fancier food, stuff like that. You better be prepared for that. I find it, again, I watch these videos and I watch them with my wife and I go, that's stupid. That's dumb. I grew up in Santa Clara County back in the 50s, back in the 60s. A lot of my friends were Asian. I lived close to Japantown. I grew up with a lot of Chinese Americans. I grew up with a hell of a lot of Filipino Americans, and of course a lot of Mexican Chicanos like me, and a lot of white people, a lot of recently arrived people from Texas and Oklahoma, you know, the Okies, etc. The Okies. Why do we call them an Okie? My neighbor, the Keeleys. I remember the dad would come out in his overalls and make lead weights and go fishing. I'd hang out with him and I'd go, man, you're the best dad ever. He's a very large man, like about 6'4", 300 pounds. I remember, you know, he was gigantic. The whole family was gigantic. And then you got the, you know, people from that you grew up, the Filipinos, Americans, and you'd hang out with them. You know, the Ponces, the Imperials, the Cabagons, and you'd hang out with them. You grew up with them. You go to their house. So, and then you start dating some of their sisters. And then, you know, one day you're at home in your house, you live in, and you're going, and you all of a sudden somebody knocks on your door. Who? How you doing? Yeah, and they have their suitcase and they want to move in with you. And I say, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We're in a relationship, but I'm not ready for that phase of a relationship. You're going to have to go. And then, of course, I never see her again. Stuff like that happened. I grew up with a lot of, you know, diversity in my community. African Americans, you know, the Allingtons and the Washingtons, and a lot of interesting folks. Corner gas station was owned by African American. The list goes on. And of course, just down the street here was a grocery store bought by a bunch of Palestinians and stuff like that. So I grew up with a very dynamic community, very interesting community. But I do not want to go, to be honest with you, I do not want to go to Vietnam. I don't want to go to the Philippines. I don't want to go to Thailand. I'd like to go to Thailand just for the food. And, you know, just the food. I love Thai food, but I don't know if it's worth $2,000-3,000 just to buy and go down there and get some good food. I can go down the street and they have some very good, modest, maybe not as good as in Thailand, you know, good Thai food. And of course, my old girlfriends, my Filipino girlfriends, used to make me some pancit, adobo, you know, all kinds of great chow and stuff like that. And of course, I would go to my friends' families in Japantown and have some very nice Japanese food. My friend owned a restaurant down there. And, you know, the list goes on and on. I already had this experience, this fantastic experience. And of course, those Okies, those brilliant, absolute folks from Oklahoma, those gigantic folk. I would go down there for barbecues and have some fried chicken and all kinds of great stuff. So I really enjoyed my life growing up in the 50s, in the 60s, in Silicon Valley. Very diverse, very interesting stuff going on there. So But I do not find myself, luckily, I'm not in a situation where I have to depend on a $1,200 income, Social Security income, and have to find myself saying, hey, maybe I should go over there. The grass is much greener, obviously, because it rains a lot. It's a tropical rainforest. Maybe the grass is greener over there. I would recommend for a lot of Americans, don't go there. Just stay home. Understand that, you're 75, going on 80. You only have maybe 5-10 years to live. Might as well stay home, relax, chill, watch a little TV, watch the old NFL. Go out to, if you're on a budget, just go to, some cheap place, get something cheap to eat, just relax, make your own meals at home, and, join some clubs. Participate in, if you're a religious person, participate in your church. Participate in your, your organizations, be they this side or that side of the political spectrum. Whatever you want to do, just go there and hang out. You don't need to go spend thousands of dollars to find love in the Philippines, in Thailand, in Vietnam. Again, San Jose, California has used to have this amount of Asians. Used to have a lot of Japanese and Filipinos. Then all of a sudden the Vietnamese came in the 70s, and now they have a very large Vietnamese population. Very large, gigantic population. Thanks for watching my video. This has been Jesús Manuel Mena Garza talking about these folk who want to go over there for two reasons: to live cheaply and to find what they consider love. Good luck with that. Good luck. Luckily, I found love. I found love here in, United States. My wife's a very nice person. We seem, most days, I always tell her about 95% of the time we get along very, very nicely. But that's good enough. That's good enough. The other 5%, we just say, what are you up to? I don't understand that. But, we try to get along. We work at a relationship. Thanks for watching my video. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and leave your kind and friendly comments below. And I greatly appreciate you checking out my channel. Very, very much. It's important. If nobody watched my videos, it would be a waste of my time, apparently. Don't forget to ring the bell for future notifications. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and leave your kind and friendly comments below. And in the description, I'll have some links to some strange stuff that you might find interesting. Gracias. Adios. Again, ring the bell for future notifications. Future notificaciones. Gracias. Adios. Use one hand. Just use the right hand instead.